In this video, let's understand the concept of linear equations. Here, we spend some time in understanding what is linear equations and how they are different from non-linear equations. Let's understand what is an equation. For expressing two equal quantities, we make use of equations. These are a couple of equations in numbers, and these are a couple of equations which have numbers and variables also. And here we have a couple of equations which are of higher degree. Degree of this equation is 2 and degree of this equation is also 2. Let's now discuss what is a linear equation. Let's take an example. So ax plus b equal to 0 is a linear equation because degree of this equation is 1. The highest power of x here is 1. A and b are constants, and here a, the coefficient of the variable x, cannot be equal to 0. Other example can be 2y minus 13 is equal to 0. So here instead of x we are taking the variable as y, and in this equation a is equal to 2 and b is equal to minus 13. Let's take one more equation. Ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Is this a linear equation too? Yes, here the degree of this equation is 1, so this is a linear equation. Here x and y are two variables and a, b and c are constants. This is a linear equation in two variables, and here we will focus more on linear equations in two variables. This form is called as standard form of a linear equation in two variables. Let's take one more example. Y is equal to 7x minus 9. Is this a linear equation too? Yes, this is a linear equation because degree here is 1. Can we express this in the general form, that is ax plus by plus c equal to 0? Of course we can. In general form this will be 7x minus y minus 9 is equal to 0. Important point to remember here is that in the standard or general form, both a and b cannot be equal to 0 at the same time. Now the question arises that whether x is equal to 5 can be represented as a linear equation in two variables or not? Well, of course it can be. For x is equal to 5, we can write this as 1x plus 0y minus 5 equal to 0. So we have expressed here x is equal to 5 in the standard form, where a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 0. Now let's look at examples and non-examples of linear equations. So these are some examples of linear equations, and these are non-examples of linear equations. Let's discuss why these equations are called as linear equations. Linear means that relationship between the two variables in the equation, that is x and y, is linear. Let's understand this with the help of a graph. Let's look at a graph between side of a square A and its perimeter p equal to 4a. On plotting the points, we find that all points are collinear and the graph comes out to be a straight line. In this graph, we can see for unit increase in side of square, there is a constant increase in the perimeter, and that is 4 units. So if the side of the square increases by 1 unit, the perimeter increases by 4, and this is the trend between any two consecutive points on the graph. So here also we can see if BC is 1, that means side of the square increases by 1 unit, then CD is 4, that means perimeter of the square increases by 4 units. When such a trend is observed, then the graph of such quantities always comes out to be a straight line, and such a relation is called as a linear relation. Now let's see what are nonlinear equations. So let's consider a graph between radius of circle R along the x-axis and area A given by pi r square along the y-axis. In this graph we can see for unit increase in value of radius of circle R, increase in the area A is not constant everywhere. So between this interval and this interval, radius increases by 1 unit, and this is the increase in the area. In this interval and this interval, once again, when radius increases by 1 unit, increase in area is this, and we can see that increase in area keeps on continuously increasing. Such a type of relationship is called as nonlinear relation. In this video, we have learned what is the meaning of equation. It is a statement that shows values of two mathematical expressions as equal. Linear equation is equation of degree 1 and its general form is ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Graph of linear equation is a straight line.